This is a Squiz podcast. We're your shortcut to being informed.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello there and welcome to the Squiz Kids Squizzie Awards for 2021. I'm Bryce Corbett, host of Squiz Kids, your daily dose of kid-appropriate news.
And I'm Amanda Bauer, your educator extraordinaire from Squiz Kids for Schools.
Now, Amanda, I should probably take a moment to explain the Squizzies.
Please.
Squizzies, now in their second year, are a look back on the stories that caught our eye across the year for very specific reasons. I'm talking about the funniest, the quirkiest, the stinkiest, and the ones that gave us the warm and fuzzies. So, are you ready to look back over the wild and woolly year that was 2021 and pick a few winners with me?
I most certainly am. Let's get this show on the road.
The weirdest.
All right, the first category is the weirdest story of the year. Amanda, who are our nominees?
Oh my goodness, so many to pick from. But first up, we have an American scuba diver who was swallowed whole by a whale before being spat back out.
I remember.
Yeah, he was underwater off the coast of Cape Cod when suddenly everything went dark. He thought maybe he'd been bitten by a shark, but it turns out a humpback whale had accidentally sucked him into its mouth.
Wow.
Luckily, whales don't really like the taste of humans, so it spat him back out 20 seconds later. But what a 20 seconds that must have been.
Man, what a story to tell. Okay, the next nomination comes from Iceland, near the North Pole. It's one of those countries that has heaps of active volcanoes, which are regularly blowing their tops and spewing steam and lava about the place. And when that happened earlier this year, locals flocked to watch the eruption and brought frankfurts along with them to cook on the molten rock. Volcano dogs. You don't see that every day.
Well, speaking of not seeing things every day, how about our third nomination from Bosnia-Herzegovina in Europe, where a 72-year-old man built a house for his wife that can turn full circle.
Oh, I loved this story.
Yeah, so Vojin Kusic's wife liked her bedroom to face the sun, but she didn't like that she then couldn't see who was coming into the front yard. So Vojin made her a house that spun on its axis, so his wife could have whatever view she wanted, whenever she wanted. That's true love,
That's
Bryce.
marriage for you, isn't it? It's marriage. So you say it's true love, and I go, well, that's marriage. Make your house spin.
And the best bit is whenever they see someone coming down the footpath they don't want to see, they just turn the front door away from them. It's genius.
That is genius. Okay, those are three great nominees, Amanda. And the winner is...
The Squizzie for the weirdest news story of the year goes to... Icelandic lava hot dogs.
Woo!
Delicious.
The funniest.
Right, moving right along, and the next award is for the funniest news story of the year. The news in 2021 was pretty serious for a lot of the year, but we managed to dig a few nuggets of humour out of the news cycle just the same. What is our first nominee, Amanda?
Fruit Loops pizza. Is it, Bryce, a genius idea or the most disgusting topping to ever grace a pizza base? You decide.
I think that's the latter, definitely.
A pizza restaurant in Iowa, in, of course, the United States, has taken a pizza base, smothered it with cream cheese, sprinkled Fruit Loops over it, drizzled over a sauce made of yogurt and condensed milk.
No.
And here's the kicker, then sprinkled it with cheese before sticking it in the oven.
That is
Apparently, it's a bestseller.
Don't try that at home, kids.
Okay.
Meanwhile, over in New Zealand, another contender for the funniest news story of the year, police thought it was pretty hilarious when they got a call from a woman who said she was being held hostage by, get this, a possum. Being held hostage means she wasn't able to leave her house. Every time the woman from the city of Dunedin opened her front door to go to her car, the possum would run at her, forcing her to scramble back inside. One police officer had the possum run up his leg before it was finally captured and relocated to a nearby national park.
That is an embarrassing phone call to make to the police. Now, this final nomination was a contender for the Stinky Squizzie Award too, because this year we learned that astronauts aboard the International Space Station don't wash or change their clothes, sometimes for
like my son.
weeks at a time. And Bryce, because they have to go to the gym for at least 2 hours every day to keep their muscles healthy while they're in zero gravity, those clothes get mucho stinko. A clothes detergent company is conducting experiments on a way to wash clothes in space, and a Japanese company is testing this special non-stinky fabric because I think it's important to solve this problem as more and more human missions to space and then the moon and then Mars take place. Because you know what, Bryce? Even in zero gravity, 5-day undies still smell.
Doesn't matter which galaxy you're in, 5-day undies are going to smell. No. So Amanda, who is taking the funniest Squizzie for 2021?
Congratulations to the funniest possum in all of New Zealand for making the police forces and our day.
Woohoo!
The biggest guts.
Bryce, after recently receiving a gift of chocolate-covered cherries and eating them all without sharing my kids,
for
I
you.
reckon I might deserve a nod for the biggest guts of 2021.
Yes.
But you know what? Then I took a look at the other contenders, and there are some crackers. What have we got?
Alrighty, so first nominees for the biggest gutses are humpback and blue whales. Scientists discovered this year that they eat 16 tons of krill every day, which contain 20 million calories.
20 million!
Yeah, that's a lot. In case you're not familiar with the calorie counts, that is the equivalent of 30,000 Big Macs a day. Krill, of course, are tiny crustaceans that look a little bit like shrimp, and I have it on very good authority, they taste nothing like a Big Mac. Imagine 16 tons of krill a day. Incredible.
Wow. Now, sticking with our fast food theme, our second nominee is a bear with a serious love of fried chicken. In November, TV stations in America reported that a man in California came home to find a bear on his kitchen counter, its snout
That's right.
buried deep inside a bucket of KFC fried chicken. The man said he was used to seeing bears in his backyard because he lives near a forest, but he'd never had one come inside the house, make itself comfortable on his kitchen bench, and then help itself to his dinner.
How rude.
Gutsy, I reckon.
It's a little bit like Goldilocks, but KFC instead of porridge, just letting themselves in. And for our final nomination, it's the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt. But it's not his speed on the racetrack that we're here to discuss. It's the number of chicken nuggets he ate while taking part in the 2008 Olympics in Beijing. Now, we learned this year in a news story that the sprint star estimates that he ate 1,000 nuggets over a 10-day period at the Beijing Olympics in 2008, which is an average of, get this, 100 nuggets per day.
Oh my goodness.
Now, he did win 3 gold medals and broke 3 world records at that Olympics, so, hey, whatever gets you through the day, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if I ate some nuggets if I'll get faster. And the winner is... How can we go past him? Usain Bolt's nugget-eating extravaganza.
Yeah.
Congratulations to him and perhaps more importantly, his stomach.
The Nuttiest.
This award is presented to the most eye-popping or head-shaking thing to happen in the world in 2021. Amanda, please introduce us to our first nominee.
Bryce, I present to you a $271 serving of fries.
What?
Now, why, you might ask, would some hot chips cost quite so much? Well, does it help you to know that they're made from very special potatoes? They are parboiled in champagne. What else? They are fried in goose fat, not once but twice, and then coated with truffle oil. Now, truffles are those really expensive mushies that grow underground.
Yeah.
And then, wait for it, they are sprinkled with gold dust.
Ridiculous.
Actual gold dust.
Ridiculous.
And, Bryce, if you've got any money left after ordering those fries, you'd probably want to pick up the world's most expensive burger from the same restaurant. That's $400.
Yeah.
And you could wash it all down with the world's most expensive sundae. It's a steal at $1,360.
Yeah, that's just wow. Here's a very different kind of a surprise that we found in an American optometrist's shop in 2021. An optometrist, of course, is someone who checks your eyesight and fits you for glasses if you need them. And this news story was about a particular optometrist who noticed that lots of kids were a bit scared or self-conscious about having to wear glasses. So she got her cat Truffles to come to the rescue and wear glasses to put the kids at ease.
That's right.
Truffles' impressive collection of eyewear makes the kids giggle, and suddenly it's not so bad and scary for them to try a new look too.
Good on you, Truffles.
Go
Now, our final nominee is also from the animal kingdom. Bryce, do you remember Gunther, the millionaire German shepherd who put his Miami mansion up for sale?
Oh, yes.
Now, he's only asking $43 million. I know, it sounds like I've made it up, but Gunther is a real dog. And as well as his Miami pad, he also owns a house in Italy. And he has a private jet to travel between them.
Of course he does.
So Gunther's impressive fortune comes from his grandfather, conveniently also called Gunther, who inherited it from his owner, a very wealthy human who, when she died, left millions of dollars to her dog and his future puppies. So Gunther, believe it or not, has $600 million in the bank.
Wow. That's the dog I'd like to get to know. Amanda, who is the winner?
Bryce, it just has to be the $271 fries. It's just another sign of what a crazy year 2021 has been.
It certainly has.
The Smelliest.
The next award is for the smelliest news story of the year. And I'm pleased to say there were some real stinkers. The first nominee was Australia's wombats. Fun fact, they do square-shaped poos. And according to a scientific report, they use those poos to communicate with each other. And apparently, they leave their cube-shaped poos in strategic spots around their territory to send messages to other wombats. Talking poos, Amanda. What will they think of next?
Poo is one of our favourite topics here at Squiz Kids, so settle in with this segment. Our second nomination is sea cucumber poo. Scientists discovered this year how important it is to the Great Barrier Reef's ecosystem. So a sea cucumber looks a lot like a giant slug and it lives on the ocean floor. It munches on the sand, its stomach filters out the tiny creatures that live in the sand that it wants to eat, and then it just poos the sand out again. But the cool thing is that when the sand comes out in sea cucumber poo, it's full of really important nutrients, which becomes important food for many fish who like to eat sea cucumber poo. So it's poo with a purpose.
Poo with a purpose. I love it. I reckon, though, I can go one better with the news story this year about a man who has turned poo into profit. Yep, he collects whale poo washed up on beaches, and what he's looking for is a substance called ambergris. It's a sticky black substance that comes straight from the guts of some sperm whales, and it's occasionally pooped out. And it's used to make, of all things, perfume.
Ooh.
Imagine that, making perfume out of
spray
whale poo.
some delicious smelling whale poo on yourself.
Yeah,
Love
spray
it.
some
Love
whale
it.
poo on your neck, why don't you? Anyway, ambergris is so prized, in fact, that a kilo of it is worth more than a kilo of gold.
Whoa. Yeah, those are three wonderfully stinky nominees.
They are.
And the Squizzie Award for the smelliest news story of the year just has to go to Australia's wombats and their talking square poo.
Yeah, talking poo.
Maybe we should send the trophy to those scientists who are trying to work out what they're saying with it.
Yes, I think they've deserved that.
The Grossest.
Okay, moving right along, and it's time now for the grossest news story of 2021.
Oh, nice.
Filtering this down to 3 was pretty hard to do, I have to say, because there's been plenty of gross stories throughout the year, but we've worked through the nominations and they are...
The three men rescued off a deserted island in the Bahamas after spending 33 days stranded there.
Yeah.
Their boat capsized and they swam to land where there was no food or water. But they survived by eating coconuts, sea snails, and get this, rats. Ugh.
I don't know. It would be line ball whether I starved or not, I have to
Yes.
say. That's pretty awful. Sticking with the rodent theme, how about raining mice?
Oh, come on.
Because that's what happened when a farmer in Tullamore near Dubbo in central New South Wales this year opened his grain silo on his property in the middle of the mice plague. Now, lots of rural communities throughout New South Wales, Victoria and Queensland went through a mouse plague this year, and another one actually might be on the way for next year. Our thoughts, obviously, are with all of our mouse-affected country cousins because that cannot be pleasant.
And as we're talking in the studio, my feet are firmly not on the ground right now. And our third nomination goes to a passenger aboard an Air New Zealand flight who was surprised, some might say horrified, to discover she was sharing her seat with the world's biggest insect, an animal called a weta. Now, they're about the size of a large mouse and they have huge pincers. All's well that ends well. It was coaxed into a sick bag and released outside when they landed. Gives me the shivers just thinking about it.
Wow, there are some very good entries in there. And the Squizzie Award for the grossest story of 2021 goes to our stranded rat-eating men. Congratulations to them for their excellent work.
The Cutest.
Now, 2021 was a hard year with all the COVID news and lockdowns for a second year, but there were still plenty of moments of joy too. At Squiz Kids, we always look to bring you those stories that reminded us there was still plenty to go, aww, over. So, Bryce, who are our nominations for the cutest news story of the year?
You're absolutely right. There were still little rays of sunshine throughout the news year. The first nomination is 6-month-old panda Fu Bao. Yeah, remember her clinging on to her zookeeper's leg? The cutie pie panda was the first cub born in South Korea, and her name means a treasure that brings happiness. And she certainly did that. In January this year, a video of her went viral, showing her clinging to the leg of her zookeeper as the man tried to walk away. Talk about a clinger.
Our second nomination is from America and the 2021 Puppy Bowl. It's the Super Bowl for puppies. It's a televised event in which two teams of rescue puppies play with toys and one another on a miniature football field. It goes to air in America before the Super Bowl, which is American football, and it involves 70 puppies with each one adopted out by a viewer by the end of the broadcast.
So cool.
And for the record, Bryce, the winning team was Team Rough.
Yeah.
They beat Team Fluff by 73 points to 69.
Go Team Rough. Very cute, but I reckon Fitbit-wearing koalas might just beat that. A researcher in South Australia this year strapped black Fitbits onto koalas at Cleland Wildlife Park in the Adelaide Hills. And no, they were not measuring their steps, they were measuring the koalas' heart rates, while drones that monitor their movements buzzed overhead because they just wanted to check that the drones weren't stressing them out.
Oh, that's very cute too. And the winner of the 2021 Squizzie for the cutest news story, it's our clingy panda club, Fu Bao.
Oh, Fu Bao.
Millions of YouTube hits, can't be wrong.
The Squizzie Award for standing out from the crowd.
Now, Amanda, being an individual and owning the fact that we're all different and special in our own special way is the coolest thing that any of us can do. And we had some really strong contenders this year for the inaugural Standing Out from the Crowd Squizzie. The first being Mary Kate and Ashley, which was the name given this year to a two-headed turtle that was found off Cape Cod in America. The hatchling, which is the name given to a turtle that's just come out of an egg, has one shell, 6 legs, 3 on each side, and 2 identical heads.
Wow.
The vets caring for Mary Kate and Ashley say that they seem very happy sharing a body and have even worked out a way to swim without going around in circles.
Well, you know what they say, Bryce. Yeah, sometimes two heads are better than one.
Indeed.
Meanwhile, closer to home, a sheep farmer in South Australia this year found among his flock a lamb with a foot growing out of its head.
I remember, yes.
This fully formed foot just hangs limply from the back of the lamb's head, which technically makes it a 5-legged lamb.
Right.
Now, the extra leg looks a bit like the lamb's had a mullet haircut, so the farmer was tempted to call it Bailey Smith after the AFL player with the same hairstyle. Only problem is the lamb is a ewe, which is the word for a female sheep, and they weren't sure if that was appropriate.
That's a brilliant one. And finally, we bring you Midas, the 4-eared kitten. Do you remember this story? Who'd become an internet sensation with...
Yeah, Insta-Midas.
Indeed. Has an Instagram following of over 100,000. And Midas lives with his owners in Turkey. And according to a local vet, the extra set of ears don't impact his hearing at all. It's not as if he hears twice as well as any other cat.
Right.
They're just the result of a genetic mutation, which is a scientific way of saying Midas's genes just decided to do their own thing. And in doing so, created a 1 in a million. But how good is it to have variety in the world? Amanda, who is our winner?
Well, Bryce, I'm usually more of a dog person, but I am thrilled to announce that Midas, the 4-eared kitten, is this year's winner of the inaugural Standing Out from the Crowd Squizzie. He really is super cute.
You're right.
The Sportiest.
The world of sport was pretty heavily disrupted this year again, and yet we still managed to get through a year of sport, the Olympic Games, the Paralympic Games. So competing for the Squizzie Award for the Sportiest news story of the year are...
Well, you can't go past Dylan Olcott, the most successful men's quad tennis player of all time, winning 15 Grand Slam titles and 8 doubles titles, and the first man ever to win the Golden Slam, which is when you win the 4 major singles titles and the Olympic singles gold medal.
Whoa.
So it was undoubtedly a ripper of a year for Dylan, and then he broke all of our hearts by announcing his retirement, saying that he felt like he'd achieved all he could on a tennis court. But don't worry, because you have one more chance to witness the magic. He's going to be defending his championship title at the Australian Open in Melbourne in January.
Oh, can't wait. Now, another Aussie who crushed it this year is Matilda's and Chelsea soccer star, Sam Kerr.
Oh, yeah.
She was player of the match in Chelsea's FA Cup final win. She captained the Matildas at the Olympics, and she won this year's Golden Boot in England, which adds to her golden boots from when she played in the US and Australia. Just about everything that woman touches turns to gold or gold. See what I did there?
Very good. Very impressive. And our final nominee is legendary swimmer Emma McKeon.
Oh, yeah.
The Wollongong Wonder, who claimed not 1 but 7 medals at the Tokyo Olympics, which brought the total in her career to a record-breaking 11.
Wow.
Now, no other Australian Olympian has won as many medals, and arguably none have done it in the quiet and unassuming way that Emma has. What a champ.
Oh, I wish we could give them all a Squizzie. Wait a second. Can we? Does there have to be just one winner?
Well, we are the only people in this studio, Amanda. Emma McKeon, you get a Squizzie.
Dylan Olcott, you get a Squizzie.
And Sam Kerr, you get a Squizzie too.
Woo!
The most inspiring.
And our final category in the 2021 Squizzie Awards is for the most inspiring story of the year.
Bryce, there might have been a lot of hardship around, but there was a lot of inspiration too. For example, in Switzerland, 2 dogs were hailed as heroes after barking to save their owners who were caught in an avalanche. An avalanche is when a great big wall of snow and ice falls down the side of a mountain, and the 2 hikers were swept away in one in the Alps.
Wow.
Luckily, their 2 dogs escaped unharmed and managed to raise the alarm by barking loudly until help arrived.
Amazing. Amazing. What good doggos. Yeah. And in February, there was also a hearty Squiz Kids salute given to 16-year-old Levi Chandler when his quick thinking saved his mate Isaiah Wilkes' life after he was bitten by a brown snake.
Ooh.
Now, the pair were playing golf together when Isaac accidentally stood on the snake, widely recognised as one of the most venomous in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Isaac, to his credit, knew to lie still while Levi applied a pressure bandage before calling for help. And how did Isaac happen to have a pressure bandage in his golf bag? Because that very morning, his mum had put it there and explained to him how to use it. So it was a good effort by all concerned.
Rock solid from everyone, yeah. Meanwhile, in Thailand this year, or actually the sea off the coast of Thailand, 4 cats were saved from a sinking ship.
I remember this
The
one.
Navy was sent to help after a fishing boat caught fire, and the crew jumped ship and they were saved. But one of the Navy sailors noticed that there were these cats on board the sinking ship, so he swam back and put them on his back to bring them to safety on board the Navy ship. Imagine the claws with 4
Ouch.
cats on your back.
Ouch! So clawy. And the winner of the Squizzie for the most inspiring story of 2021 is Levi Chandler and Isaiah Wilkes for their snake bite prowess. Their quick thinking saved a life, and Levi did the best thing any kid can do. He listened to his mother.
My word, Levi, well done.
Wow, Amanda, 2021, what a year it's been. Thank you for all of your help this year.
Oh, that's my pleasure, Bryce, and thank you, Squiz Kids, for another great year.
Now, before we go, a quick reminder that the Squiz Kids Today podcast is taking a break until school returns in 2022. But there will be quizzes and some great Squiz Kids shortcuts where we go a little bit deeper into a fun topic, all available via subscription via Apple Podcasts. It costs just $6.99 a month, and there will be new material available each week of the school holes.
Fantastic.
This is Bryce Corbett signing off and remind you all to get out there and have a most excellent summer. Over and out.
Over and out, Bryce.